Our top story this morning, a man in Lodgegrass is dead after he was shot by a Bureau of Indian Affairs officer. The mayor of Lodgegrass, Quincy Dabney, says a woman called authorities around 7 o'clock Sunday night to have her grandson removed because he was intoxicated. The officer responded to a home near the intersection of Main Street and George Street, and that's where Dabney says the man came out armed with a hunting knife. As the man stepped out onto the porch, Dabney said the man was shot several times by the officer. The FBI, BIA, and Bighorn County Sheriff's Office all responded to the scene. Dabney said the man killed by the officer is a Lodgegrass resident about 36 years old. An emergency meeting was called Sunday night for residents of Lodgegrass at the City Hall building. The names of the officer and the man killed were not immediately released. Turning to this morning's national headlines, former FBI Director James Comey is revealing more details about his interactions with President Trump ahead of the release of his new book, A Higher Loyalty: Truth, Lies, and Leadership. As CBS's Wendy Gillette reports from New York, the president, who fired Comey last year, is already firing back.
I think he's morally unfit to be president.
Ousted FBI Director James Comey blasted President Trump in an exclusive interview with ABC News anchor George Stephanopoulos Sunday night.
A person who sees moral equivalence in Charlottesville, who talks about and treats women like they're pieces of meat, that person's not fit to be president of the United States.
The interview aired just ahead of the release of Comey's explosive new memoir, A Higher Loyalty. Comey says it's possible the president obstructed justice when he pressured him to drop the Bureau's investigation into Michael Flynn, the president's former national security advisor.
Was President Trump obstructing justice?
Possibly. I mean, it's certainly some evidence of obstruction of justice.
Comey, who is leading an investigation into Russian election meddling, was fired by President Trump last May. The president launched a preemptive attack on Comey Sunday, tweeting in part, "Slippery James Comey will go down as the worst FBI director in history." Some fellow Republicans piled on.
This is just salacious and all designed to undermine this president, who he has obviously a bone to pick with.
Mr. Trump maintains he sacked Comey because of his handling of the investigation into Hillary Clinton's emails. Wendy Gillette, CBS News.
And Comey's book hits the bookstores this Tuesday. Meanwhile, the Trump administration plans to impose new sanctions on Russia. UN Ambassador Nikki Haley says the goal is to punish Moscow for supporting Syrian President Bashar al-Assad. According to the Pentagon, this weekend's airstrikes crippled his regime's chemical weapons program. And former First Lady Barbara Bush won't seek further medical treatment for her failing health. The office of her husband, former President George H.W. Bush, released a statement confirming the news on Sunday. He said the 92-year-old was receiving comfort care, adding that she was surrounded by her family. Continuing our coverage, the man chosen as the next superintendent for Billings Public Schools says he wants to make the school district the best in the country. The school board interviewed Ross Kaysen on Friday and chose to offer him the job on Saturday. Kaysen began his career in education in 1995. He has been superintendent of the Freehold Township School District in New Jersey since 2011. He says he leaves a district that has been recognized by the League of Innovative Schools, and he's excited to bring those ideas to School District 2.
I was very impressed by the entire process, so when I saw the news and got the phone call, I was really excited that I was the top pick. Obviously, with my current district, I'm very fond of it. I guess there's some sadness there. That part of leaving a place that you have worked for so many years and helped shape excellence is always, with many mixed emotions.
Kaysen says he and the board will work on a contract and determine a start date. He also says some trustees want to visit the Freehold Township School District. If negotiations fail, Greg Upham of Helena was selected as an alternate. Elsewhere, 207 high school students from across the state are taking part in the 2018 Youth in Government program. The program's goal is to provide a fun and educational youth legislature and model the Supreme Court for high school students. 16-year-old Vicente Gallardo, who attends Butte Central Catholic High School, said he thinks politics are fascinating.
I think it's very important for kids our age to look at politics just so they understand how our government actually works.
The Youth and Government program will continue through Wednesday. In case you missed it over the weekend, gun rights supporters gathered at the Depot Park in Kalispell to rally for their right to keep and bear firearms. Led by local high school students, dozens of Rally for Our Rights events took place across the country on Saturday. Hundreds gathered to listen to gun right advocates while supporting responsible gun ownership. People carried signs that read "Disarming me will not protect me" and waved yellow "Don't tread on me" flags. Columbia Falls sophomore Bridger Gold was among one of the speakers. He says he feels the Second Amendment is under attack.
Gun control will only affect the people who are willing to follow the law. Criminals who already don't follow the law will keep to their ways of not following laws, and they'll still find a way to get weapons. Regardless if there is gun ban or not, criminals will find a way to get guns. Adding more laws will not stop shootings, but it will increase the rate of weapons trade through criminals.
The youth-led rallies come in response to the anti-gun violence rallies and school walkouts held after the Valentine's Day shooting at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida, that killed 17 people. Now we go to Red Lodge, where this weekend provided the perfect final day on the mountain. Although no records were broken, a consistent snowfall meant a successful year for Red Lodge Mountain. More than 95,000 people made the mountain part of their plans this season. This summer will mark a significant moment for the mountain as the land exchange with the Forest Service ends after 7 years.
The Forest Service has been a great partner to work with to get this done. So what's going to happen is we have a couple of old mining parcels on the upper mountain that is going to go into Forest Service hands, and this land will combine with some private land we own right above here to consolidate holdings and make the ownership a little more clean. Plus we'll own all this land here instead of renting it.
And by the way, opening day for next season is just 7 months away. Well, the spring season also brings runoff, which brings road erosion. Take a look at these sinkhole pictures from Rosebud County on the old highway between Forsyth and Hysham. The area has been blocked off, and the Montana Department of Transportation is rerouting traffic until it's fixed. Before we take a break, for this month's awaiting child, we introduce you to James. He's hoping his forever family brings some video games when they come to find him.
This 11-year-old knows what he's about. He loves to play games from Mario Kart to more complicated ones, and even studies the work of other gaming experts on YouTube.
Well, my favorite genre is like games like platformers or like platformer third-person shooters like this.
He also loves to draw and plays air hockey and likes to hang out outside. He says a relationship with a future father is really important to him, as well as sharing some particular interests.
They like gaming, definitely. Since, you know, or they'd be willing to learn gaming, since it's might as well a father and son relationship, right? Absolutely. That's what I see in the family, father and son relationship, and they ain't giving up who I am.
You just got first place?
Yeah.
Nice. He's hoping to come in first place with a great family like he's accustomed to with his games.
Yep. And without further ado, the end.
In Missoula, Augusta McDonald, MTN News.